Hi everyone, my name is Ann Rosenthal. I am a visual artist and a printmaker, 2D media, and my work focuses on the environment and nature. So today I'm going to show you briefly how to use a gel plate to make papers that you can use in collage. So this is a gel plate, and you can see it's very squishy. You can buy them or you can make your own. And I have found that there's some differences between homemade and commercial plates. So they're both great. But I find that the homemade plates are maybe a little harder to work with and get used to. So you might want to start with a commercial plate. But there are recipes online. It's pretty easy, and I can link to those too. Okay, so there's lots and lots of things you can do with this plate. And the thing that's awesome about it is that you do not have to have a press. You can do this just in your living room, on the kitchen table, wherever. All right, so you can see how I've got this set up. I've got my gel plate. I have a piece of glass, or you can use plexiglas, underneath it, and I like that because then it doesn't move around on you. And then below that, I have one of these shelf liners under the glass, or the plexiglass, and that keeps that from not moving around, okay? You also need a brayer, so you can buy these. This is a Speedball brand, okay? And I find it helpful to have a palette knife, but if you don't have a palette knife, you can use a tongue depressor, popsicle stick, a spoon. It's just for spreading the paint or the ink out. Okay, and then you need some paint or ink, and you can use acrylic paint or you can use printmaking ink, and I advise that you use water-based media. Okay, so if it's printmaking ink, then water-soluble printmaking ink. But today I'm going to use acrylic paint, and you can use lots of different kinds of acrylic paint. You can use craft paints, you can use any brand. I've got right here, I've got Golden, I also have Utrecht. People usually put the paint right on the plate. They don't roll it out. If you're used to printmaking, people roll out their ink, which is fine, you could do that. But if you're using acrylics, it's best to just put a blob or two down, because it can dry pretty quickly, and for most applications, you probably want to avoid the paint drying. So, but before I get into that, I just want to show you a few things. So these are some papers using deli paper. Okay, deli paper that I bought on Amazon. Yeah, it's the stuff that you wrap sandwiches in or whatever. And I really like this because it's thin, but it's also durable. And it's quite inexpensive. And I'll put a link to that as well. But you could use any paper you want, okay? But I'm going to use deli paper today. So I have various things I can show you. So the thing I also like about this is that it's kind of transparent. So when you tear it up for a collage, which I did with this, it shows what's underneath a bit, which I like. I've got here, which I used with stamps and stencils, which I'll show you in a minute. And you can also do just colored paper like this. There's a couple holes in this because I cut it out for something. And this is actually not deli paper. It is rice paper, kozo, which is also can be inexpensive. And I'll put a link to that too. And this is nice paper too. It's durable and it's thin, but it's not as transparent as the deli. So, okay, so we're gonna start. And I'm gonna take some paint here, some acrylic paint. Don't overdo the amount. You don't want it all gooby, okay? I'm just putting a couple blobs, a couple of little blobs. And I'm going to do kind of a two-tone thing. So I like earth colors, so these aren't real bright. I've got yellow ochre and quinacridone burnt orange, which I love. And then I like to use the palette knife to kind of spread around just a little bit. Okay, if you don't do that, then you might have a few blobs, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with blobs. But, all right, I'm going to just do that. All right, so now I'm going to take this. Now the other thing too, if you want to avoid your paint drying too quickly, is you could put just dab, just like a dab. Don't overdo that either, of retarder. And that'll keep your paint from drying out too fast, okay? So you can see, I'm going to do this, and I like, you know, it depends on what you want, but I like kind of an uneven application. So I'm going to do that, okay? Now I want you to notice this is pretty thin. It's not all goopy. You don't want it goopy. You don't want the paint making peaks. Okay? All right, so here's my deli paper, and it's got a waxy side and it's got a non-waxy side. You want the non-waxy side. Okay? I'm going to put this down, and I am going to rub it. So you don't even need a brayer or anything. You don't need to use anything. You can just use your hands. See that? Awesome. Huh? Yeah, really awesome. Okay, and you can do what's called a ghost print if you want, which is a second print from this. And again, trying to find which is a non-waxy side. So a second print is going to give you a lighter. It's going to be lighter, but it'll still be pretty nice. And might give you a different look and feel to what, right? It's a little more atmospheric. Okay, so that's one technique. Another technique is, and I think what I'm going to do is switch, and I'm going to use some sap green. I love this sap green from Golden. It's a really nice green color. Very earthy. And I'm going to put a little retarder in here. A little dab for each. I'm going to take this. Now, yes, it has orange on it, and maybe I don't want that. I'm going to just kind of clean my roller by doing this. And sometimes your roll-offs can be kind of nice too. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And I don't mind having a little orange on there. A little orange with the green, the complementary colors. Okay. All right. And again, thin application here. And kind of smoothing it out. So the next thing I'm going to do is show you how you can make some patterns or textures. So, see what this is? This is corrugated cardboard. It's awesome. So there's lots of stuff around your house that you can scavenge for this. And because of the gel plate and its kind of squishiness, you can get some great impressions. So this is like, I think it was from a candy box. Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, that gives me some circles. And then I might just using a lid, different sized lids. I'm going to do that, okay? And then I'm going to roll this off. I'm going to print this on the deli paper. All right. Here we go. See what we get. One of the things I really enjoy about this is that it's kind of experimental, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I love the surprise. So the color isn't fabulous, but you can see these different patterns you can get, okay, by impressing things into the paint. Now what I think I might do just for fun is you can overprint. So I've got this ghost print, the second pull from the orange, and I'm going to lay it down on top of this green, and we'll see what it looks like. Sometimes you can get some really nice effects this way, and sometimes it looks like mud, so we'll see. No, not too bad. It's interesting, a little bit, right? But it gives you the idea of what I'm talking about, right? I think it needed some yellow in there. All right. So another thing I want to show you, I'm going to wrap this up pretty quick too. This is just a real quick introduction here. Is, all right, I'm going to do this, and I have a little green on my roller, so, and I didn't use this, so you see there's kind of blobs, which blobs are good if you like blobs, okay? Okay, so I got this though. Now another thing you can do is, if you have any stamps, and you can make your own stamps. I think I bumped the camera, sorry. Okay, so here's a stamp that I made. And here's another stamp that I made. All right, and I'm going to use these stamps on here. I think I'm going to get rid of some of the, ooh, that's nice too. Okay. Okay. All right, and I'm going to another piece of deli paper. Make sure it's the right side. It's a little hard to tell sometimes. I'm going to put this down. Hopefully this is going to work and you'll be able to see it. A little bit. It's not super obvious, but it's kind of nice. It's subtle, right? I'll show you, and I also, of course, you can use your stamp as a stamp, and I actually did this on this roll-off, just kind of fun. But if I can find it, all right, so here's an example of the stamp. Okay, and I think I might have stamped on top of this. So I did what I just showed you, and then I stamped on top of it as well. That gives you some options here to get some interesting collage papers that you can use, right? Different colors, different textures, different patterns that you can then tear up and use in a collage. So I hope this was helpful. And again, we'll put links to the different products I used down below, or on the site here. And happy printing, and go to YouTube and look around for gel prints. All right, take care, be safe, and enjoy being creative.